Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday chat series. We are now on episode 7. Time is flying. First off, apologies. I did miss last Saturday's video. I was camped out in a very remote spot, no cell service or internet or anything, so I wasn't feeling like breaking that camp. It was a pretty special camp. You guys saw it if you saw the video there. Tillamook State Forest, I believe it was. Yeah, Tillamook State Forest. Found a really amazing spot down by a river, down this very narrow dirt road. It was amazing, so that's where I was. I could not upload a video from there. So anyway, back into reality. I'm now in an area where I do have cell service, so it's kind of refreshing. I found that it's been very challenging in the Northwest. In the Southwest, I visited some very remote areas and still was able to get a cell signal in a lot of them. In the Northwest, I think it has a lot to do with just all the hills and trees. You can be in a little town that has a signal. You drive out 15 miles and you're in no cell zone. So it's been challenging working online and uploading videos and stuff, but I have been getting through it. So let's see where we're at here. Well, we might as well get into some questions. I didn't get a whole lot of questions last week, mostly just comments on the topics that I brought up. The pets in a van was kind of a hot topic. A lot of people really agreed and understood where I was coming from, and unfortunately I offended a few people. Got a few private emails. Sorry guys, I really didn't mean to hurt your feelings or make you feel bad. A couple people in particular let me know that they were going to unsubscribe and they felt insulted, and I went out of my way to say like a couple times, like, I'm not judging anyone, I'm speaking of my personal experience. I don't feel comfortable having a pet in this small of a vehicle. I did state I know plenty of people that do it and their specific situations. You know, I'm in my early 40s. I'm not retired. I have to work. A lot of the people that are traveling full time with pets are retired. They are out there free and can spend all their time with their pet. I just can't do that right now. So sorry if I offended you guys. It was great to have you along for the ride. Sorry I lost you over that one. And let's see, any questions for this week? We did get a few, so we'll get into those right now. First one was, do I follow news, currents, events on the road as I travel? Do I watch sports, follow sports? Is it challenging to do so, being on the road? I'm not a big sports person. I never really have been. I'm not against them. It's just something that I never really found too entertaining. Maybe it was because I'm from San Diego and we didn't have that very good of teams. I don't know. Sorry, San Diego. Anyway, I follow mostly weather. When I'm going online to like check what's going on, I'm seeing what's going on with the weather. That's like my main go-to thing. And, I was really into following news and politics and current events before I hit the road, and all I really got from it was depression, so I just try to stay away from it. I really feel like a lot of the major media news stuff is useless news. It really doesn't do anything for anyone. It's just like drama. So I try to stay away from that. Next question was about satellite radio. In my old early videos, I showed my little satellite radio system. I was using Sirius XM. Was fairly happy with it. And I think back then the reason I went with the satellite radio was because I was new at van dwelling, and a big concern of mine was like being bored in the van and having entertainment, and tried having a little TV with the over-the-air HD antenna, and I'm not really into TV and the programming, so I scrapped that. I went with the satellite radio, and I enjoyed the programming and content for a little bit, and then it got stale, and I just found myself not listening to it and scrolling through the stations a lot like I did when I had cable TV years ago, and paying for a service where you can't find content that you like. So I canceled it. And I will say one thing about satellite or Sirius XM, they made it very difficult for me to cancel. I actually had to file a complaint with their company. I sent them a letter and made a formal complaint that I felt I was being harassed. I was getting phone calls and emails every day of them basically begging me to come back and restart their service. They made it very difficult to hang up the phone. I basically had to hang up on them every time, and it just got to the point to where it felt like harassment. So I told them to go away finally, and they did. But it was a big ordeal. So that's my whole experience with SiriusXM. Okay, so on to the next question. I got a question about, actually, a couple people asked this. I mentioned like when I work on my laptop and the need for a cell signal or mobile internet signal. I say I'm doing online work. I'm pretty vague about that because I do a few different things. Obviously, you guys are aware of the number one thing I do online, and that's these YouTube videos and uploading the videos, which takes a good decent signal. And then I do a couple other things to generate some income online, and that's kind of stuff I don't really want to share with the public. I've had some issues in the past with some people that through this YouTube channel are found it necessary to kind of meddle with the way I make an income with my work camping jobs. I used to be very open with those, so I've kind of made a new decision. I made a few videos and have a little playlist about making money on the road. I shared the 4 or 5 jobs that I've done, work camping jobs, and you can go find that information. But from here on out, I'm going to be kind of vague about my work camping jobs and that until they're totally completed it in the past. So my online work, there is a lot of things you can do online, guys. The majority of the younger people that I meet that are living on the road full time, they all work online. They're not doing these horrible seasonal work camping jobs. They have figured out a way to make money using the internet. And the most common ways I've found that people are making money online is like administration work, where they are working with companies that have websites, and you take a position of maintaining these websites, updating them with current information, responding to interaction with people that are visiting the website, stuff like that. That's a very popular one that pays well. The internet's where it's at. Any company, business, anything that's generating money, they usually have an online presence, and if you can associate yourself with these companies somehow and try to help them, there's job opportunities there. You can just do surveys. That's another big thing. If you just find a few different surveys that pay $20 each, you can line those up. A lot of those surveys, you can only do like one of them a month, but if you find a few different ones you can do, you've got this schedule. They're time consuming. It's work. It's not free money. You got to sit down and put the time in to make that money. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. I mean, I know people that buy and sell domain names. They just spend time searching out available catchy domain names, and if they're available, they buy them and then wait for someone to come along that wants that name, and then they can make a little bit of a profit off that. That's very common. All sorts of stuff you can do. So yeah, if you want to move around and not be location dependent, the online work is where it's at. Okay, so next question I got is, how do I choose my destinations? This viewer said that it seems like everything works out pretty good, that things kind of line up. And I don't do a lot of choosing of my destinations. I'm not a big tourist attraction person. I've have some things that I do want to see eventually in the future, but it's not like a bucket list need to see. I'm more into discovering things that I've never heard about, I've never seen, and no one's ever been to, and I haven't seen 1,000 pictures of, or a bunch of videos about. It's neat to go experience those places that you've seen so many times. Like when I first hit the road, I went to Yellowstone and saw Old Faithful, but it was kind of, I won't say a letdown. It was fascinating, but it's like this whole built up. There's so much challenges built into visiting places like that, especially Yellowstone. If you go in the peak season, there's millions of people that go through these parks, and I'm kind of into this to try to find more of a mellow, kick back. And you go to these busy national parks in peak season, and it's anything but that. So I just kind of wander. It's not complete, I have no destination whatsoever. I do have an ultimate, I pick these seasonal jobs, and it gives me a couple months to get there, so I can just kind of loosely, but overall I'm still heading to a destination. It's just a couple months away. So just kind of break out the maps and just gaze at them and look at how the roads go and little, and then I get into the detail maps and I can see the parks and campgrounds and national forests, and then I get online and do a little research. So it's a little bit of just kind of loose research and rolling with it, and I like traveling that way. I don't like plans, and because then if something comes up, there's all these letdowns and stuff that can happen when you build up expectations, and I just like to cruise. I'm out here living on the road. I'm not like on a vacation, like, with a big agenda. So that's kind of how I travel. I enjoy it. And last question, one I get all the time. I don't know if you can see it, the Maine license plate. I need to put this as a frequently asked question in my video description so I can refer people to that. I'm not from Maine. I'm born and raised in San Diego, California. My dad's side of the family is from Maine. I grew up taking summer trips there with my family growing up. And then my first big road trip cross country was from San Diego to Maine in my early 20s, back around 2002. You can see the sticker there, 2003. And it was just a big experience in my life that I'll never forget. So when I went to Maine, it was during, as summer came, I thought I might want to live there. So I registered my van there and then started to get a little homesick and kind of miss the city. And this was years ago, 15 years ago. And then I decided to come back to San Diego. So I re-registered in San Diego, thus having the spare Maine plate. So yeah, Maine's a very special place, beautiful state, and that's where all my dad's side of the family is. So it's the story on that. Like I said, I'll probably put that in the video description as a frequently asked question. So that wraps up the questions. Let's see if we can do a little recap here. I did want to mention real quick, one of my goals with the Saturday chat series is to eventually do them unedited. My goal is to be able to talk for 10, 15 minutes and not have to chop it up because I've stumbled on my words or stuttered or anything like that. So this is getting easier and easier. This is one of the first ones where there's going to be very little editing, so I'm happy about that. Hope I wasn't rambling too much. I will let you know where I'm at right now. I'm at a van gathering with over 50 other van dwellers, and last night we were up, till 2 in the morning, so I'm a little groggy, sitting around the campfire all night, so yeah, hope this wasn't too disorganized. Let's see, it's been 2 weeks since the Saturday recap, so we've got 2 weeks to catch up on. So 2 weeks ago, Monday, I did the meetup video with Moonshine Summit, Kirk and April from Eugene, Oregon. That was a blast, meet new people. They're totally my type of people. Just remind me of a lot of my good friends from back home. So that was awesome. And then from there, I bolted into the coast of Oregon, which was awesome. That was my little 3-minute video. A lot of you guys didn't like the short video, but I just felt it fit. Like, I was going to make that my normal, 10-minute video, but with the song that I used, when the song ended and I faded from the scene at the beach, I was like, that's it. This video is done. I don't need to go anywhere else. That was the experience that day. Just showing up on the coast and hiking up over that big sand dune and seeing the ocean was it was an epic moment in my travels. So that's why I just kind of want that to be a short, capturing the moment of just showing up on the coast. Even though I'm from Southern California, right on the coast, just have been traveling for a while, and just that feeling of just coming up onto the coast was fabulous. And once I hit the coast, yeah, I stayed at some casinos. That worked out great. Casinos are a good alternative to a Walmart if you're in a town where there's no Walmart, but they do have a casino. Great overnight spot. It happened on the Oregon coast. I found 2 awesome casinos that worked out really good. Then what did I do after that? Found that awesome camp out by the river in the woods in the Tillamook State Forest. Lived the beach life for a little bit. That was awesome around Rockaway Beach and Cannon Beach. It really reminded me of being back home in San Diego. That's kind of my comfort zone because I started out static van dwelling in San Diego at the beaches and bays, and just super used to hanging out at the beach. You just find a day parking spot in a public parking lot, hang out, enjoy the beach the whole day. It starts to get dark. You can just drive off to, a couple blocks away, find a place to park. Works out really good. Repeat that cycle for as long as you want. After about 3 days of that, I was kind of I've done the beach life so much in San Diego. I was ready to kind of get back to boondocking in the woods. So moved on from there, and what did I do? Got stuck in the sand and then pulled into Astoria, Oregon. So our next video, Monday, we'll be checking out Astoria, Oregon. It was a really cool little town. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Goonies, and that was where it was filmed. I'm not into doing filming locations and searching out the actual spots, but totally get the vibe when you pull in that town. All the houses just brought back all the memories of that movie. It was really cool. So yeah, that's where we're at, and then we'll, during this next week, we'll bring you up to speed about this van gathering. Really good time, like I said, over 50 people here and growing. So we'll show you what that's all about next week. We appreciate you guys watching, and really ask any questions you have in the comment section of this video. I'll address them in next Saturday's video. I didn't get a whole lot last week, so I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Really appreciate you following along. Sorry if I was a little scattered in this one. I was up till 2 a.m. last night at this van gathering, just having a great time with everyone. So we will check in next week. Thanks again. Take care, guys. Peace.